Emily wanted to have this big first birthday party for her daughter, Ivy. And so she went to Evite. I've used Evite as well when you're sending out, bridal shower, baby shower, that kind of stuff, birthday parties.
So convenient to use.
So convenient to use. But you got to pay attention to what you're doing. Here's what Emily did. She went in, and I guess it prompted her to choose maybe people that she had invited before or using her contacts to be able to invite people. Well, evidently, she accidentally hit select all, and 487 people were invited to her daughter's first birthday party.
Well, what the celebration.
I know, bigger budget than she originally planned. She said she realized in about 5 minutes what she had done, and then she went back, she canceled it, but there were already, I guess, text messages that were sent to people like her boss, a friend from third grade. I mean, all these people.
A friend from third grade.
All these people that were in her phone, and she said, okay, originally, she already had a big guest list, like 50 people. That's a lot of people for a first birthday party.
It can be a lot of money.
But she expanded it to 70. So she said, there were people that if she went back and took back the invite, they might not understand. And so she kind of expanded it.
True.
Yeah.
So it didn't turn out to be over 400 that came.
No, because she was able to almost recall. And I guess she probably had to have a lot of conversations with. See, what happened was.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
We heard from Amy on an open mic through the My HISRadio app. She said, during the recent fundraiser, I gave a gift of support, and this is why.
I support his radio mostly because of the prayer line, because maybe a year or two ago, during a fundraiser, I heard you guys say that just the last month, due to the prayer line, over 300 people were saved. And to me, that's the end result. That's what we're aiming for. The music is great, and encouragement is great, but it's the souls of people that are going to last forever.
Thank you, Amy. So grateful that you called and you gave a gift of support during Friendraiser last week, which you're at 94% of the way toward the goal. Thank you so much, but I do want to let you know that with the prayer line that Amy is talking about, this year alone, and it's almost May, right? May is tomorrow. 926 people said, I want to live for Jesus. I want him in my heart. And they are born-again Christians now.
That is huge. 926 since the beginning of the year. People that mamas and daddies and family members and friends have been praying for, have been on their knees about, have now said, you know what, I want a new lease on life. I want to know Jesus more when I have him in my life. And you have provided that.
We just wanted to say thank you. 94% of the goal. Actually, Friday, we were at 91% of the goal at the end of Friendraiser. And then people said, I want to help you get toward 100%. So they've been giving gifts ever since, which is wonderful. So now we stand at 94% of the way toward the goal. And if you'd like to help out, you can. HISRadio.com and on the My HISRadio app to give an online gift today. Thank you so much for your generosity.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
It's Rob and Liz in the morning. For this one mom, she asked her daughter, so what do I do at work? And here's how she responds.
What do I do at work?
You play with your friends and work every day, and you work half the time, and you do something with your friends.
I would love to know what your kid thinks you do at work.
Right?
I think my kids, when they were little, they had no idea. They didn't equate hearing me, and that was their mom. You know what I mean? They knew I worked at a radio station, but they didn't necessarily know that was me.
That was mom's voice that was coming through the speakers? Really?
Yes. But I know as adults, they think I do nothing.
I've never asked my kids, what do you think I do? I don't know what they would say. Honestly, my adult kids and my teenager, I don't know what they would say.
It'd be interesting. I don't think I've ever asked in that way, but you hear them talking about it, or they'll say, well, you couldn't have had a hard day at work because you don't do anything.
I get that.
Talk.
I used to get that sometimes, not a lot. I don't think they ever questioned if I worked hard, although I never asked. Yeah. So, do you think your dad worked hard? But to ask that question, especially to a young kid.
Oh, it'd be so
And
interesting.
what was she saying? She said, you play with friends.
Yeah, you work half the time.
You work half the time.
She's,
You
because
spend
she
time
said,
with friends.
you work all day, but you work half the time,
Mm-hmm.
which is hilarious.
And you have fun with friends.
But she's also thinking about her own day at daycare or school.
True.
So sometimes she works on her letters, probably, or numbers, and then the rest of the time she's playing with her friends.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess you would equate that to work, going to daycare like that.
I used to be a nanny for one of my friend's kids, and one day I asked a little girl, I said, what does mommy do at work? And she said, oh, she talks on the phone and eats cheese all day.
Talks on the phone.
I wonder what her real job is.
And eats cheese all day. That is hilarious.
She works at Hickory Farms. There you go. I don't know.
Well, that's a thought at least. But it's funny. I've never asked my kids that question, especially when they were younger. I mean, I still have a 15-year-old in the house.
Yeah.
He's going to be, oh my word, he's going to be 16 in 2 weeks.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. And if I asked him, so what do I do at work? I wonder what he would say.
Yeah.
The smaller kids are always going to be the best.
Oh, because they make up what you
Right?
do in their own minds.
Yeah.
for sure.
I don't know what my kid, I don't even know what my adult kids would say I do outside of
certainly
talk
they
on
know.
the radio.
Certainly they know.
Yeah, but what's the rest of the job? One of them does. One of them knows almost everything I do.
Huh. It'd be interesting to, you know what? Start the dialogue. There you go.
Yeah.
Start the question.
Here's another open mic through the My HISRadio app.
I install kitchens and bathrooms, cabinets, and my 3-year-old son, that's what he does every morning. He'll go in the backyard and he'll tell my wife he's building a house, and he goes to work like daddy, and he installs kitchens all day. We were flying a plane once, and he had his little 6-foot tape measure, and he told people he uses it to measure cabinets and install cabinets, well, like his dad.
I love that it sounds like you almost bring your kid to work, because I used to bring my middle ones to work all
sure.
the time.
Yeah.
So Spencer would travel with me everywhere. Amanda, when she was younger, would travel everywhere that I went on all these different cities and summer tours and stuff like that, and some of the concerts. So maybe those two would know exactly what I do all the time.
That's exactly what I was going to say. They have a much better working understanding.
Yeah. And I eat cheese all day,
And talk on the phone.
like that one lady.
And talk on the phone. So, okay, Malia messaged us and said, okay, here's what it is. My husband was an airline pilot, and they asked, what does daddy do? Said, my daddy doesn't work. He's a pilot. Like, it must be just fun. It's not work.
Not at all.
To answer that question, my wife does come out to my job sites. I am a subcontractor, but when I do work close to home within like 30 minutes, she'll bring me lunch most of the time, and so my 3-year-old son, he looks forward to it. And when he does come out, he'll watch the excavators and stuff. He'll watch the heavy machinery. He comes out to my job sites, and my middle son, my oldest son, every now and then they'll come out to work with me and help me install.
See, I love it when the kids go to work, because then they see you in action and have a little bit more of a grasp of what you do. Like Spencer and Amanda, when they were younger, they were both homeschooled at one point in their life. And so I was able to bring them with me everywhere I went when I traveled.
I think that's so cool. My kids went with me, every now and then. And then I had 2 of them working for us, like working for me at one time, which was super cool.
Okay, again, the thought is, if you ask your kids, what do I do for work? How would they answer? I love this open mic that just came in through the My HISRadio app.
My mom scrolls on her computer and eats crackers all day.
Excellent.
I want to know what she's scrolling. Social,
And
shopping.
Is it saltines?
or Rick?
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
I'm really not sure if I would trust this kind of technology. I already have a problem with tech, and it always fails me, so I'm not really sure. It's Rob and Liz in the morning, his radio.
I don't know if I would call this tech, because right now China has given the green light for flying taxis. And in my mind, when I heard this, I'm thinking a yellow taxi cab flying in the air. That's what I'm thinking. It said flying taxis. I'm like, oh, okay. These more look like drones, and the cab of it looks like a helicopter.
It does.
It kind of looks like a helicopter, but it's the drone with the three things. And so that is what's going to be flying people around from here to there as a flying taxi, at least in China. They've given the green light to do this. I don't know how soon this is going to be. It's not like tomorrow, but I don't know.
So many questions.
Scott was thinking something like a throwback.
Step closer to the Jetsons. You know, I thought we'd be flying around in cars by now. At least people during the Jetsons time, when they made the show back in the 60s.
Okay, here's the funny thing.
That's what I'm thinking.
Scott relates it to the Jetsons. Ninja, our producer, you relate it to what?
Like in Wall-E at the end, where they're all like in the like roly-polies in the chairs.
Yeah, the
roly-polies in the chairs.
Well, because they just use almost like a joystick, and they fly around, and they order milkshakes. Like, they never get up and do anything.
Well, here's what I think.
Yeah.
So here's Scott thinking Jetsons. Yeah. Here's Ninja thinking Wall-E. When it comes to flying taxis and cars and stuff.
But at least now we are a little bit closer. Kids that watched Wall-E are like, oh, okay.
I'm thinking Back to the Future,
Did they have flying taxis? They had flying skateboards.
Yeah, the cars were flying.
See, I guess so. The DeLorean flew.
Yeah, and so did other cars.
I haven't seen it.
The DeLorean flew because it went to the future.
Yeah.
And when it came back, it was flying.
Yeah.
It didn't start out flying, not in the shopping mall.
And then they went back in time and they were riding horses. Did they have the DeLorean? I guess they had to. I got to go rewatch Back to the Future.
I know, right? What a timeless classic.
It really
Where
is.
we're going, we don't need roads.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
I've never tried this before in my life. This try before you buy, like clothes and shoes and stuff like that. It's Rob and Liz in the morning, his radio.
I have. I liked it. I did it a while back with like Ralph Lauren, and just to see, because you could wear like more expensive clothing or well-made clothing for a nominal fee.
Wait, is this try before you buy, or it sounds like you're renting clothes?
Well, you're renting, but you have the option to buy if you like it.
Oh, so that's what you do, huh?
Yeah,
So you wear it around for a while, go, and then send
like
it back.
Yeah.
So here's an Amazon worker, and it was one of those try as you buy returns. And there was something peculiar about the box when the Amazon worker saw the box come into the place in California where it was shipped to. She opens it up. There's a cat inside with boots.
Wait a minute. The cat had on the boots? No.
No, but the cat's inside the box. It's like the cat was in the box when the owner, taped it up. Probably had no idea. They brought it to the vet. They could scan it, and it turned out that it was a cat from a home in Utah.
This is so weird. Think of how many hands this box had to go through. Right? So when the owner, who should have known, it felt a little weird when they picked it. Was the cat not going, wow?
Evidently not.
Oh, my goodness.
Evidently. I mean, we have Scott and Ninja, our producer. They both have cats. Ninja, what about your cat? Ever in your wildest dreams would think you'd ship it somewhere by mistake?
I would hope not, but my cats do have a thing for boxes.
Really?
And so I wouldn't put it past them to try to sneak in there and go on an adventure.
A big adventure. All the way to Cali. What about Scott? I mean, Scott has 2 cats.
And both of our cats, they do. The cats love boxes. They love to crawl inside boxes. We have to be careful because sometimes on trips, our cats will crawl into the suitcase. So we have to do a double check to make sure that we're not, they're not tagging along with us. But I would think that even if the cat got in the Amazon box, you would know the cat was in the box before you shipped it. I mean, wouldn't it feel, and the cat would be moving around a little bit like, this is more than clothes. There's something heavy in here.
Listen.
That's the part that gets me.
I would imagine. Okay, so Scott has 2 cats. I'm sure they both have different personalities.
Yeah, I think we have a 15, she's almost 16 years old. So now this cat would get in the box and probably sleep the entire way.
See, chill.
See, I could see that.
Just
or a
chill.
Kitten might crawl down in the boot and go to sleep. Because I've seen, cats do that. They'll get in
That's
shoes or whatever. So I could see how that could happen. But for the most part, all I'm thinking is the cat.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
So what is 2016 from, it was that 8 years ago? So how did I know that? 8 years ago is when they changed at least the iPhone on how you plugged in your headphones. If you'll remember, it was a little mini jack, a little round hole at the bottom of it, and you could plug in whatever headphones you wanted to. And then they changed it to the charging hole
Port,
in the iPhone. Yeah, the little port there. And so now you had to have a specialized wire or earphones or earpods to actually plug into the thing. Now they're saying, you know what? Let's get a hole on all the phones so that everybody can use the headphones that they want. It's like, 8 years too late. Nobody really seems to, well, I say nobody. I'm sure somebody
Not
does.
many.
Mine are wireless now. I just went all wireless because I don't want to play the game of I can only use these on my iPhone.
Right. Me too. I totally have the Bluetooth ones, but it just seems like, especially, and I don't know because I don't have an Android. My husband does, but I don't know what the chargers are like. But for iPhone, it's like you got to have this charger and then they change it to that charger and, the USB-C, EFG. And then.
How's she spelling?
Right. And so the headphone jack seems the same thing. Like, oh, well, we haven't sold those lately. Let's bring that back.
Right? It's just like it's way too late. Let's hear Jake's one of our producers. Here's his take.
I think it's whack. Why would you? Why? That wire is that's such an inconvenience.
Yeah.
To just have that wire hanging out.
So you would not use the headphone jack at all?
No, because everybody and their mother has a variant of an AirPod.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah,
so much
wireless.
easier.
Yeah. So I don't get it.
You just Bluetooth into your phone. That's all you need.
Well, maybe it's because the whole retro thing is kind of in, because vinyl is out.
I don't want to be tethered.
No.
Same. I don't want to be tethered at all.
Well, I mean, if you're let's say you're on the treadmill at the gym and you got this big wire, you start running, and then your phone flies, and then you fly, and it's happened.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
His radio.
So Olivia is at a friend's house. She's playing. They're playing in the backyard, and they're just having a big time. And all of a sudden, Olivia looks over at her house and sees that there's smoke. There's a lot of smoke coming out of the roof of this house. And so she runs. I mean, just doesn't even tell anybody she's leaving. She runs over to her house, barges in, and what's happened is Mom was rocking the baby to sleep, and Mom fell asleep as well. Dad was at work. There were other kids in the house. This 6-year-old Olivia saved the entire family. House went up in flames.
No.
Yeah, but she saved their lives because she noticed it and did something about it like that.
So she's playing with the neighbors
Yep.
and then saw the smoke coming from the house and ran into the house. To know that at 6 years old
That something was
is
wrong.
quite extraordinary.
Yeah, and knowing that, I'm sure she didn't know at the time that her mom had fallen asleep, but she wanted to make sure that they knew this was happening.
She wanted to keep her family safe.
Absolutely. And so the neighborhood came together and gave the family clothing and a place to stay, and this kind of thing.
Sounds like they
So
lost everything then.
I feel like they lost everything. I don't know that for sure, but certainly a lot of damage to the home.
That means renovation, rebuilding,
Yeah.
all that stuff. So it's going to take some time before they're back.
Right. But thanks
in
to
their home.
Olivia, the family is still intact.